Crash Course Live is presented by
Smash It Demolition Derbies, who host Bash for Cash, Blizzard Bash, and Capital City Carnage. Online at smashitderby.com. And Stirring Dirt Racing, host of Maymania's team show at the Golden Spike Arena in Ogden, Utah. Online at stirringdirtracing.com.
Reckless Abandon Derby Apparel and Derby Inc. Magazine. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast, recorded live at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York. And now your host, Chris Marquardt.
Good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast. We are here at the North Park building at Academy Square for episode number 245. We're going to be talking to John King here in a few minutes. Dan Bolton is joining us here in studio for this edition of the Crash Course. We got lucky and he was working nearby in Port Byron and sent me a message and said, I think your studio is not far from here. So we got lucky and Dan was able to make the trip in. Brian, there you go. Is that camera working?
You're allowed to call him, Dan.
Now you know.
It's not Mr. Bolton or Sir Bolton or
You've never once considered any of those names for me. Here, well, we got that. What? Now you see what the camera has to do there?
Yeah, but you look the same way. Just bring your camera back.
Yeah.
Like the top of your head's cut off.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's
Your
not.
head looks flat.
I have been told that it looks like a teddy bear's backside, but never flat.
See, all right, bring it back so I can fix it the way Chris wants it.
Fix it now, because we don't need to do it on the air.
What do you do? It's got to come down?
Yeah, just rock it down a little bit. A little more. Probably should be closer, but we're not going to worry too much about that. Rock it down more. Perfect, just like that. Hey, Crash Course 245 on deck. We're going to be talking with, like we said, John King's going to be on the show, catching up with Jeremy Gulley. They were on W Bing, I believe, today, and talking about the Derby on one of the local morning shows out there. And then we're going to wrap it up with Rick Clarke, who's celebrating his 200th career feature win. I mean, is it even fun at that point? You know what I mean? Like, is it just like, whatever, another trophy?
It's got to be fun because he keeps doing it. He runs everything. Like, I don't think he's run like a Bash style pro car in a while. Like, he's running trucks and compacts and like stock looking builds, and it's crazy. He's just keeps piling them up. I mean, it's got to be fun.
Changing it up.
Yeah. When you're that good though, you can win in anything.
Right.
I mean,
He drove that wagon. I think he built that wagon in 2001.
Yeah. He's probably won 50 features in that thing.
It's entirely possible. So Dan Bolton, if we're pairing things side by side between Rick Clarke and Dan's win at Wheel Days, he's only got 199 to go.
You got a long ways to go. And the sad part is I've been derbying 24 years, so I ain't gonna catch him.
That's crazy.
It was a pretty good weekend overall. A little bit of banter about some of the goings-ons at Wheel Days before we get any further into that side of things. We got some results to jump through real quick. Justin Lascelles coming away with the Mad Dog Award. Michael Baker, Josh Griffin, Matt Menard taking a Mad Dog Award. Cody Bradbury, Mike Beers, Joe Piersma, Chris Case, Dawson Beers, Big Car Consti winners Todd Ingram and Mike Ingram, Crystal Logson and Josh Owen winning the Compact Constis. The truck feature, Carlos Santiago won that one. Mike Ritten got Mad Dog there. Small trucks and vans. Richard Murphy got the win there. Hank Wedgren took the Mad Dog Award. In the Compact feature, Kyle Baker won over Joe Piersma and Crystal Logson. Joe Piersma got the Mad Dog Award. So Joe, he had a pretty good weekend overall. Brought home quite a bit of hardware. And then in the big car feature, Dan Bolton coming away with a win over Dawson Beers. Joe Triple, Logan Gregory coming away with the Mad Dog honors in that one. So the discussion revolving around all of the headaches with driver doors and some of the bad blood boiled over, and it sort of just led itself to the point where you were in the right spot to collect some checkered flags.
Yeah, just kind of a heated rivalry between some of them out there, and I kind of flew under the radar.
Sometimes that's the best.
Kind of way I like it.
Yeah, that's always good when there's two groups out there that are intent on junking each other, and you can just kind of stay out of trouble. And
and I get along with everyone out there. That's just the way I am, and I don't like the drama. I just fade away from that kind of crap. And but I know all the Walton guys; they're good guys, and I tell you what, I earned a lot of respect for Dawson Beers. Because when it came down to the two of us, he was down in the corner, and I got a GoPro. I have to get up.
Well, he got hung up, right?
He got hung up early, which I unhooked him, and then it kind of went back and forth. But in the very end, when it was just down to him and I, it's pretty much done. He lost the steering or whatnot. He couldn't get out of there. He's just down there just like this. Bring it. Keep bringing it. And I back it down to the other end and just keep coming down. And you keep bringing it. Just keep bringing it. Anybody else would have broke their stick at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it was pretty much done. But, yeah,
Is the nose still straight on your Imperial?
It's bent. Both sides, firewall. It's inward, not up. It kind of like kinked in sideways. It's trying to pull through the floor, but the 9-wire's holding it up.
You going to run it again, or are you going to cut it up?
Well, I broke my brand new tranny.
Whoops.
Cracked that tail shaft right in half. I don't even know how it was still driving. It must have been just enough oil in it to keep, because I shut it off and went to start it back up to pull down the trailer, and zzz. I'm like, guy looking under there. Yep, sure enough.
How's Paul Cox's warranty program?
Not too good. But it worked great, man. I mean, that thing was tight right there, you know. Motor ran great. So
cool.
They usually run good when they only have to worry about 800 RPM.
Yeah. F440 probably never got to operating temperatures. Probably stalled and sputtered. They got to get warm before they run good.
That's terrible. Hey, at least I didn't sell it.
You're right. You're right. Now just think, if you'd have kept all them Imperial, you'd have 6, 7, 8, 10 wins by now with them things.
Oh, man, those things are awesome. I see why those guys like them now, man.
Are you going to stockpile those now? Is the Dodge going on the back burner?
Boy, you know, I said to Travis, my buddy who helps me out, I'm like, dude, man, these imps are kind of fun. Maybe we should start running imps now. You know, back home we got places to run them, so it's fun, you know?
Yeah. 13 or 14 imps I heard were total, 12, something like that.
Yeah, there was quite a few. There's 2 heats. I think 1 heat of 8 and 1 of 7.
Yeah.
And the tilted Crown Vics ran with the Imperials too?
Yeah, I don't remember seeing any Vics.
I thought there was a box Ford there.
There may have been. I don't remember right offhand, to be honest with you. But
it's the tunnel vision.
Yeah.
It gets down a lot.
Yeah, it does. Did you did you full track anybody you said you were going to run with? Or
like I said, I was kind of the odd man out of that whole thing, man. Like it said go, and it just.
I watched a little bit of your heat on Facebook, and it looked like as soon as they said go, it looked like 2 guys got stuffed in a corner. They were kind of freight training them.
Oh yeah.
And then I seen you guys spinning around, and all of a sudden it was just you and one other guy, and I'm like, yeah, that was like, quick and easy.
Yeah, it was over before it even started, really.
Yeah.
That's what Wheel Days is, man. I mean, Wheel Days, the pace is fast, it's frenetic, and you can put 10, 15 cars out there. You're only going to be out there for a couple minutes. It's
but
they
took 3.
It's going to go fast.
They took a first and a second and a Mad Dog.
Brett Riley told me you were going to win.
Who did?
Brett.
Oh.
He happened to be on Facebook, so I figured I didn't even think of him being there watching. I texted him. I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "Oh, I'm watching Wheel Days." And I said, "Who's going to win it?" And he said, "Dan Bolton." I said,
"That's
cool.
A pretty bold statement, because you know all those guys that are up there, I consider them way better drivers than I am. You know, you had Mike Beers, you had Chad Winnie, just to name 2 right off the top of my head, and those guys, they're good.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Sean Ingram and Dawson Beers.
Yeah.
Have been no slouches for second-generation drivers.
The list goes on right there. I mean, there's so many good drivers in there. So how do you pick who's going to win it?
I don't know, but Brett said Dan Bolton, and I said, cool. But it was you know, it definitely. I'd like to see some after pictures. I'm sure everything was pretty much junk.
Yeah,
you know, in the when you watch videos, they just don't do it justice. You guys know that. You got to be right down on there. Mm-hmm. I got looking at it too. Now that I remember, my passenger side upper A arm is about ready to shear right in half.
Really?
And I just think I had them welded down, but I think it's just because that track was so rough. If you watch, we're hopping and hopping. Mm-hmm. I just think it got bent and it just kept going and going.
Yeah.
Who knows? That could have fell off not too much longer.
That sucks.
Yeah, it could have been. It could have been a lot worse.
Both humps dumped. Car's rougher than it looks.
Tore up.
John King's on the line. He had a front row seat for it with King Smash and Crash from Demolition Derbies. How was Wheel Days from your vantage point, John? It looked like it was a fantastic show. And then after the checkered flag was waved, the show kept going online.
Yeah, well, it was a good show. I enjoyed doing it with a lot of these guys, and each year they keep coming back. So, and I want to congratulate Dan the man there, because he really did. He finally came with an Imperial, and he showed them what he could do with them. So
it was a good show. We ran down the winners a little bit ago. sets the tone for you guys to go into the off season on a little bit of an upswing, as it typically does. This is always a good show. You got any plans to change anything for 2019? Are you going to adjust anything in terms of the format of this show or any of the other shows? You've got a bunch of different opportunities with speedways that have cropped up this year. I trust those will probably stay intact for next year as well.
Yeah, we'll probably stay about the same as what we have been, well, for what we ran last year, and except for maybe we might try that compact team show again on our Thursday night of the fair.
Yeah.
We'll have to vote on it at the fair board. They shot me down the last time, but then they kind of made a little deal and let me do it. But
right.
I don't understand why they don't want to do it.
I can't think of a good reason why not to. That team element's always fun to watch.
Yeah, but some things you just have to fight for.
Little by little.
And like I say, I want to thank you, Chris, for what you do for us up here in Brookfield. Plus, I want to thank everybody that shows up at my place and all my sponsors and stuff like that, and especially Brandon Briggs that makes Mad Dog trophies for me now.
Sure.
They were incredible this year, and he did that in I think about 2 weeks. He made those, and then he had Mr. Rick Hansen paint them, my painter. So they do a good job with it. So I wanted to thank all them and all the sponsors of the Mad Dogs. So without them, we wouldn't be able to do it. So
it sure does pay off when you got some help.
Well, yeah, and I want to thank all my help to help me too, because it was basically family, like it is, and
right.
I know some people don't like my inspectors, but hey, this time they went by the book, and some people got caught with cars that they've been running, and hey, sometimes you get by, sometimes you don't, and I can't help that if you don't, and then some of these guys get PO'd and they're not coming back, so well, I can't do nothing about that either. We try to be the fairest we can.
Well, I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff to go on off of those little pieces of the conversation. I mean, I'm not trying to beat anybody up, but there's a lot of things that you can do besides just kind of throw up your hands and say, oh, well, they're not coming back. It comes down to the point where how much of that battle do you want to fight? As a promoter, you obviously want to have all the cars there that's possible, but by the same token, if it's to the point where you're gaining by losing, then maybe the right decision is to just throw up your hands. I don't know about that one. That was a little bit tough for me to take. I mean, there's a lot of guys out there that have run with you for a long time that even when they said they're not coming back, they've still ended up coming back with cars, and I don't know. That's an interesting perspective on it.
Yeah, it's tough being a promoter because,
well,
like
that's
I say,
also true.
I go all over to get people to come to my shows, and
sure.
I don't like to think somebody's been treated unfairly or something. But hey, we do what we can, and like I say, like for wheel days, we usually get 100, 125 or something like that. We used to get more, but we're just getting down a little bit. But who knows?
Right. Interesting. The action looked like it was good front to back. Had full consi rounds as well to fill out the rest of the features. And judging by the way the timestamps were coming in and the pictures were flowing through, that looked like the show moved through pretty well.
Yeah, you know me. I don't like to stand around. I like to get the cars off. That's why we have 8 to 10 tow vehicles, and get them in and get them out, and keep the show going, because people don't want to sit there and watch tow trucks.
Sure.
I know I don't when I go to shows, but I don't know. I think I'm going to be going down to San Filippo this weekend and supporting Jeremy, because I think Matt Seeley, my daughter's boyfriend, is going to fix me up a car, I think, again.
Oh, cool.
So but the only thing is, the cars keep getting smaller, and I'm getting older.
Right.
So I almost think we have to build a rubber room around it so I don't get hurt.
That's why John's shows always go so fast. He's getting old. He doesn't like to get cold.
I like that early start myself. I like that. Get done, get home.
What time you guys done?
We were done by 9:30, weren't we, John?
Wow. That's awesome.
Yep. Easily by 9:30.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you see the video of George
after the
Hackett's?
BS
Did you see the video of George Hackett's dad, 60 years old, and he won the rollover contest?
No.
Yeah, that was incredible.
Awesome.
They built him a derby car, and he's like, no, I want to do the rollover contest. And it was on George's page.
Yeah.
And he hit that thing, and it did like an endo. It wasn't just an endo. But it ended up landing back on its wheels, but he ended up winning the rollover contest at 60. That's good for him. That's pretty cool.
I actually got a chance to shake his hand because I was over there getting a check, and George and his dad come over. I said, man, that is awesome, man.
That is. I mean, people say what we do is crazy, but to get in a car and intentionally roll that thing over, there ain't no way. Never.
Well, I think if George's dad won it, I think it's the first time in the last 19 years that Rudy didn't win it, isn't it?
Yeah, it must be close to that. Yeah.
Rudy's won that forever.
Chris, I think you ought to build a rollover car.
I don't think that's a good idea at all.
You wouldn't break your shins on a dash bar.
No, but it's harder to explain a broken neck.
No, I don't think you could really break your neck. I think
really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I think you're pretty a pretty
Remember how you
rubbery
guys
guy.
said I'd be just fine riding with Gulley?
I never said that. Nobody would be just fine riding with Gulley. That dude is crazy. The first thing I said when I heard you rode with Gulley is, what the heck were you thinking? Because he's crazy.
Tell you what, man, Gulley gave me the opportunity to ride with him in a truck the very first time.
I saw it. I was there.
And he says, if you ride with me, you can drive next year. So we did, man. Man, I beat him up too, man. He beat me up and I beat him up.
Oh, Gulley.
He still shared that memory the other day. It was so backside purple.
Oh, yeah. I've seen that picture a couple times. Yeah,
I look over and there he is. He's in the back of the seat like this. I'm like, you got right over there, little buddy? He's like, just shut up and drive. And Ben was inspecting you. You see him looking at us like about ready to count us out because Gulley's flipped over backwards. That was good time. Good times.
Yeah, that was something.
That was at the Morris show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a few years back now, right?
Yeah.
I think the when you rode with him, I think it was the year before Rick passed away.
Was it?
I believe.
I don't know. See, I think that it was the spring. You rode with him on like a Thursday.
It was a spring show.
I came down to run a camera for you, so it was
I think it was Thursday night that you ran with him, and then I rode with him on that Sunday.
No. It wasn't the same year. His was before because when he rode with Gulley, I ran a camera for you. And I was at the far end of the track, like where they drive on. And I remember that, but that was a spring show.
Yeah, because it was the following year because he put it back together. He did some work to it, and then he brought it to the spring show because I had a Cordoba. I almost went back to back.
Yeah.
I drove my Doba that day,
Yep.
and then I got in and drove the truck with him.
Yeah.
And he's like, how you like that Magnum, Dano? I'm like, it's junk, brother. It's junk. Oh, come on. I mean, that thing wasn't running for shit. And I was like, dude, this thing's not doing anything. We're going to get just give it time. Give it time. It'll warm up. And touching them wires. And he knows how I felt about that. So if you watch, he's starting to think for me because I never touch wires. I don't even know how to do that. I'm a push button guy, you know. He's up there, floor tall. What a blast.
Yeah, it was a good show.
He'll be able to come out a little bit and defend himself some.
Hey, man, as much as I take from all you guys and those guys, man, he could take a little bit from me.
I don't think anybody's ever been mean to you.
I'm not saying mean. It's called ball busting.
Not you, Dano. You don't do that. Hey, I will say, I like the car the way it looked with the old school paint. And
didn't I tell you I wasn't going to paint it? I didn't have time.
But if I was you, I wouldn't even have painted the patches where you welded on the doors. I'd have left them just bare metal and
I
let it go.
I didn't paint anything.
I thought there was didn't?
No, all of his patches are already primered.
Oh, okay. That's what it is.
No, they weren't. That was... And I was like, man.
He still had $500 worth of stickers on it, but he didn't paint it.
It was hard not to paint it, but you know what? That's like the third or fourth time I've won with a non-painted vehicle.
Maybe that's the thing, Dano.
I'll tell you what, man.
John, next year you got to put a rule in place that all the cars have to be painted.
That was
I know they all should be painted real nice. So
they should.
That night though. You know how much work goes into these cars, man. Blood, sweat, and tears. And my wife doesn't get out to the derbies much anymore. We've been doing it for so long, and she just doesn't care. But she came out, and my daughter was there. And I'll tell you what, when that green flag or when that checkered flag dropped, and I saw them come down, I got a little emotional, man.
Oh. Absolutely.
You know, I don't know. It ain't very often you want to show that caliber, and they were both there to share it with them. And my daughter you asked Johnny, saw she come running right up and bear hugged me, man. I just couldn't let go of her, you know?
Yep. That was when sorry, Josh Beal, a year ago when I won my hometown fair. I'd won it before, and I'd had a lot of really good runs before, but it was before I had my boys. You know, my wife had seen me win it, but my kids hadn't. So when I won that was, I walked up, you know, after I attempted to talk on the stage, I walked up with a trophy, and my boys
The
came down.
interview didn't ask you the right questions.
No
It wasn't your conversational skills.
It wasn't Chris Marquardt interview.
Exactly, it wasn't. And that was the only bad thing about that night. It was that Chris Marquardt wasn't there to interview me. But you know, I walked up and handed the trophy to my boys, and I had a hard time talking to begin with because they'd finally seen me win. But then when I walked up and handed them the trophy, you know, I got a hug and a kiss from both of them right there in front of everybody. And my buddy Dan O'Connell, that usually totes my stuff for me, his wife happened to be standing there, and she took a picture of me with both the boys with the trophy. So that was really cool. But I mean, you know, and that's the thing, like, you know, you talk to, and it's that way from, you know, local to like Bobby Brockway. You know, he loves when his daughter, because his daughter doesn't get to watch a lot, because you know, he usually just runs like Topeka or some of the bigger shows. Yeah. You know, so when he's ran some of the local shows and he's won, he's like, you know, that's better than winning, you know, the big shows, because at least she gets to see it. So it's cool to hear how, you know, all the Derby guys, it really makes it worth it to have the kids see you win, and you know. It's
funny how it comes full circle as you get older, and you go, when you were young, like Dawson Beers and those guys, man, you see it. You know, we were the same way when we were that, you know.
Yep.
You know, wild, crazy. But then, you know, you grow up and you have a family and you have kids, and it's just like, you know, I'm old enough, they could be my kids, you know, and you're running against these guys, and it's just like, you know, they make you feel young, but, you know, totally different at the end of the night, you know, where we're at. And but it's still a good time. And
it's definitely still a lot of fun.
So John, what's the off-season hold for you?
Hopefully, I will be hunting shortly.
Yeah, I know you've been super busy with work.
Yeah, we're sold out until when my boss goes to Florida. Hopefully, it'll be around deer season. So
nice.
And then I'll get laid off, and then I go to the woods.
And don't come out until. Don't come out.
I'm like a hermit.
Yeah.
Well, I go
Same
in
way, Jono. Same way, buddy.
Until I get to my deer, I don't come out much. So.
Well, that's good. I know you hit.
There's another thing too.
Yeah.
Tell Mr. Dano that he might be able to get the picture of me in the car builder if my son will let me have it off his phone. His daughter and I see her over there by the trophy in front of the car, and I took the checkered flag over there. And, of course, I talked to her a couple of times when I was down to Dano's there. And I says, how about a picture of you and me seeing that you're the car builder and in front of the car with the checkered flag? Oh, you ought to see her face light up.
That's awesome.
So, it'll be coming on my Facebook shortly, I think, if I can get it from my son. He's the one that took the picture, so.
She's so proud of that trophy, John. I put it up in her bedroom. It sits right in the corner of her bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But another thing is, I want to wish Mike Beers well. Hopefully he gets better with his. I think his back is pretty well screwed up. He said, I think he broke it again, but hopefully he gets all better, and hopefully he says he ain't going to run anymore, and I don't blame him, because I know how back problems are. So.
Right.
I can imagine.
I wish him well. I would love to saw him run in that feature with the rest of them, but unfortunately, bad things do happen at times. But hopefully, he'll rebound and get all better. So,
we definitely wish him well. You don't want to see anybody get hurt. You know, everybody's got jobs beyond this. Nobody's making a killing doing it. You know, there's no low sponsorships out there for demolition derby cars, so everybody's got to go work their day jobs. So I understand he'll be able to at least do some of his regular functions at work while he recovers. He's got a couple weeks of recovery ahead of him, but he should be okay.
Yeah. So that's like I tell him at the driver's meeting. I said, look, guys, everybody has to get up more the next day or Monday. I said, so don't be stupid and do something dumb to somebody. And but sometimes people don't listen.
It was those emotions boiled over a little bit, and then who knows? It could have just been a freak thing with the seat too. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
Who knows? We wish him well. I know you hit on your sponsors and everything already. Was there anything else that you wanted to add in terms of reflecting on Brookfield Wheel Days 2018?
Well, I think hopefully we'll get few more cars next year, but I don't know. We'll have to see. Hopefully Daniel is set the pace again, so people will come and say, I'm going to beat Mr. Daniel.
Well, he's got to go back. He's got to defend his title next year.
Oh, you don't know what I got up my sleeve.
Got to go back and defend the title, man.
Yeah, that's what I said. He's got to at least come back for Wheel Day because he's got to defend it. So I don't know. We'll have to see.
Well, I seen Buell sold his 67, so that's probably at Daniel's shop getting ready to get torn apart right now.
Well,
That was a nice car.
Well, Buell and I had a secret pact there. If I got that win, he's just going to drop it off. So
Hey, whatever it
it
takes.
should be there when I get home.
Knock the windows out of it and start building now.
Did you see his post? The money went over. What do you say about that? I forget what.
Yeah.
Stock went up after Dan won.
Yeah, stock went up after Daniel won.
He was
it.
asking like $4,500 for that car, so he must have sold it for that. I would
Good
say.
for him.
Yeah, that's a nice car.
Oh,
that
yeah.
car was from over by my neck of the woods, actually, up in Richfield Springs. Guy had it for sale for a while.
Gotcha.
Nice clean driver.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind having a driver Imperial. That'd be nice.
That's like my grandson. He's got one, and my son's got one. So maybe they can make a deal with him.
There you go.
I will not ever pay that kind of money to wreck a car now. Just so you know. I'm cheap.
Once the check
I
clears
don't
on this
blame
one,
you.
we'll buy two.
I think you ought to let me take that Imperial, and I'll put the 4-cylinder in it for this weekend and then run in the 4-cylinder so that I don't get hurt.
There you go.
It's a horrible idea.
That'd be awesome.
I'm going to retire that Imperial, John. She's pretty well shot, believe it or not.
I wouldn't doubt it.
You don't really see it in the dark. The next day, when you get a chance to look at it in daylight, it's a lot worse than what it looked like.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think we've all went to bed thinking, man, that car ain't that bad. Then you get up in the morning to go, what the hell happened?
Yeah, I know. It's like, man, I didn't look good to me. But
Yeah. Yep.
And another one I want to give my, I don't know how to say it, but Logan Gregory.
oh, yeah.
That kid, he does not, he impresses me really because he does not let off. I don't think he ever uses the rear end. He just goes, falls to the wall. He had one car down on that was up against towards the firemen and stuff. He was up against barriers, and Logan just comes to full length, and he shortened that car by 2 foot or better. I said, holy shit, I wouldn't want to be that poor guy.
Yeah, I really like Logan, and I get along really good. We talked before the Derby, and we had a pact right there, and he's got one of the best sounding motors in our area, man. That LS sings, and
They already announced it.
he's awesome. He's fun to run with, and he's not afraid to put the hammer to it.
It's awesome.
And another one that really impresses me, too, is that Joe Piersma from up our way. He runs the 4-cylinders, but let me tell you what, he's just about like Logan. He just let him go, lets it go, and he don't care who he hits. So,
Sure.
but I don't know. We'll have to see. And another thing is, my stress level is probably down now. I can go to the doctors again now.
Right.
Wait till Derby season's over.
Yeah. That'd be good
My
to.
wife just said, you missed your physical this morning.
They can
didn't
always
know about
reschedule it. You'll be all right. Well, John, man, I'm glad that it went well. Glad all the sponsors continue to stay behind you. You got everything already sort of lined up for what you're going to see next year between the Speedway Series at Fulton, Brewerton, Utica, the fair at the Madison County Fairgrounds, and then at the end of the year, Brookfield Wheel Days. And I know everybody's looking forward to seeing you at San Filippo next week. We're going to shift gears and move into some talk on San Filippo as well here in just a minute. But, John, thanks again for everything. Thanks for coming on the show, and good luck at your physical.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot for everything you do, Chris, too, and everybody on the podcast. And hopefully we'll see Mr. Daniel again one of these days up here. So
Good to see you, John, old buddy. Come down and help me tap some maple trees again.
I told you I'd probably come down just so we could talk some derby or something like that. So
All right, buddy.
Awesome. Well, John, thanks
Okay,
again.
Chris, well,
John, thanks again. We'll catch up with you soon, okay?
Okay, thanks for having me on, Chris.
You bet, no problem.
Yep. We'll see you guys.
Bye now.
See you, John.
There goes John King, wrapping up Brookfield Wheel Days. We threatened it, now we're going to deliver on it. Sanfilippo Smash is coming up right around the corner. We're going to be talking with Jeremy Gulley about that here in just a few minutes. It is October the 6th. Those guys have the
Chris,
chance
hold
to
on.
get what?
Call the house.
Call the house.
Yep. Do you have that number? I have it right here.
I don't know what message this is. I got it. Yep, I got it. Thanks. Flag on the play there. So there's going to be more than 200 entries at Sanfilippo Smash. It's going to be at the Otsego County Fairgrounds in Morris. Anything left, bring it there. You can run for the Sanfilippo Cup after you get through your heats. Classes include the Power Wheels, the Compacts, the Heavy Compacts, the Chain Class, the Limited Welds, the Heavy Weld cars, the Extreme Two-Man Class, the Trucks, the Small SUVs and Vans, and the Gold Iron 1959 and older. The fundraiser is for MPS 3A research with a goal of $50,000. Are you still there?
You got the same thing you got, Brian.
I lose you?
Call the house. You can't remember now. He's out in the middle of nowhere, so.
I guess so.
On top of a mountain.
Oh, I'll never forget the first time I went down there. I was like, where am I going?
Yeah, when my oldest and I went down to deer hunt, we took we drove past it and then came back.
Real
to
quick.
it.
Online, spinningwheelsproductions.com if you want more details. That number is not going through. So you're talking about being up on the mountain?
Yeah, Jeremy lives on a mountain, and it's some fun driving to get up to his house and get up to the pheasantry where he works. It's
One lane, baby.
oh yeah. I've never met a car on those roads, thank goodness.
Last year he was going to come up snowmobiling with the wife and I, and his wife. He had an ice storm. He got pinched sideways. Remember that?
Yeah.
He never made it.
Yeah.
Destroyed his trailer.
Yeah, I can't imagine trying to clear those roads of snow and ice where he lives. That's insane.
Hey, can I put you in? I'm trying to reach Jeremy. All right, great. Talk to you later.
I could hear that all the way over here.
That was pretty clear. Talk amongst yourselves. This isn't the time for you to look at your phone.
So, Dano, Derby's over. You ready to start killing some deer? Or?
Yeah. Look, let's go back to John for a second. John and my dad used to bowl together
Oh,
years
really?
ago. When I was just a kid, they bowled in bowling leagues. That was big with those little
Oh,
guys,
yeah.
you know? So that's how I know John so well.
Oh, that's cool.
Every year he has slipped a ticket in my car at the Morris Fair Wheel Days. Every single year to try to get me to come up there to run.
Really?
Yeah. And not just me, but everybody, you know?
Yeah.
That was one slick thing he always used to do. You know, you go to get in your car. Oh, look at that. John's been here every single year since I've been Derby, and he's done it.
That's crazy.
Good way to get
Oh,
new
yeah.
drivers.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So you got one picked out yet on trail cam? Or?
Don't have them out.
Wow. You're going out blind.
I don't even have my license yet, and season starts today.
Neither do I. I was looking at that last night. I don't have mine or my son's. We just finished putting up our stands last week. So and then this weekend, upcoming weekend, is youth weekend for deer for kids. And he's 15, so he can go out.
Awesome.
But Saturday is San Filippo, so I'm going to that.
Yep.
Sunday, my brother races in Oswego. I'm going to that. And then Monday, I took Monday off, so I think we're going to take him. I'm going to take him to one of the other small woods that we hunt and let him sit there with 270 and see if anything poked its head out.
There's my cousin Kevin was down helping me on the car one night. Was a Friday night. We worked late. He left. I see a dead deer on the side of the road when I went up through there the next morning. Come to find out, he smoked it in front of his truck. Took the radiator out.
Oh, that stinks.
They're all over right now. Deer starting to move.
Yeah. We it was funny. We were actually I left here last week, and I was going home, and I was going the back way, and I'm like, man, there's got to be a deer around. Sure enough, I get to the end of the road, and one jumps into the woods. Then I go around the next corner, and there was one standing out in the bean field we hunt. So
Did you fix that brake light yet?
no.
That's cool.
No. Thanks for caring, though.
No problem. Trying to tell you. So that Polish guy was mad, wasn't he? That was no joke.
Probably show up at the door here in a few minutes. Would take you down.
Wow. So that did not go well. We got Jeremy now, though, so it's all's well that ends well, right?
Absolutely.
How'd it go on W Bing today?
Oh, I'm pretty good. It goes by really fast, and there's a lot of information that we really want to put out, but
we got the gist of it out there.
Mm-hmm. Did you slip and drop an F-bomb on air?
I did not.
Awesome. Proud of you, buddy.
I only said about 15 words, so, the chance of me saying an F-bomb within 15 words, consciously thinking about it, is not very good. 30, there's going to be one in there.
I don't know. I was impressed with you when we went to Utah, old boy. You did a good job.
Yep.
So how's everything looking for this
finishing
weekend?
up the raffle compact truck. Going to head out to Morris here in about 20 minutes. Going to load up. Head 2 up. I got my Team Martin, Team Mia cars done, and the raffle truck's done, and both Queen's cars, my kids are done, and the only thing we got left is the big raffle car, and we're working on that tomorrow. So
sounds like you can almost take the rest of the week off and go deer hunting, buddy, and then just show up Saturday.
Yeah, I wish.
Dial in that new bow you got.
35 yards from me right here on my front porch if I wanted to shoot it, but I don't really feel like it. It's too much work.
Man, I wish I had that problem.
So how are things looking right now? It sounds like everything's coming together pretty well, pretty effectively. It's all over except for the crashing at this point.
Yeah, I mean, really at this point, if it ain't done, it ain't getting done.
Right.
I mean, it's a lot easier. We got a big group behind the scenes that don't really, they may not be posting on Facebook about it or whatever else, but there's a lot of volunteers from Mia's family in the background that are getting the Chinese auction all together, and Jody's working with them with that, and of course Katie's working on getting the T-shirts and all that sorted and situated, and so there's, besides everybody that's sharing it on Facebook, there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes that don't always get looked at. But we're ready, man. I mean, we got. I'm excited about some of the stuff that's coming up. The relic class is, seems to be a big thing. So. Did
you see Donnie Lane's car?
I did.
Oh my goodness.
Donnie Lane's got that 53 Caddy that's just driving the guys on the abandoned and neglected cars nuts.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I seen Donald Cassavant grabbed a screen grab. He went and posted his checker cab in a checker cab group, and of course that went over real well. He's got it all painted up just like a cab with the fares and everything on the doors. Looks really nice.
Yeah, it does.
It does look good.
That's.
Getting a lot of messages from people. What's going to be the schedule? Best I can tell you, we're going to smash cars from 12 o'clock until the end.
Good answer.
I'm not lying to you.
Nope, you're not.
We're going to try to get the relic class somewhere around heat 5, 6, 7, somewhere in there. We are going to. I can tell you the first 2 heats, without a doubt. The first heat's going to be the Team Martin versus Team Mia. The second heat's going to be the Queen's class. Past that, we'll let you know the day of. But like I said, the relic class will be somewhere between heat 5 and 7. The extreme class will follow very shortly after that. We do have a couple drivers that are running the relic class and the extreme class, so we want to give them a little bit of time in between to kind of get their bearings and grab a drink and kind of get ready, make sure they're ready for their extreme team car. We'll give them a heat or 2 in between. We're going to try to run 20-car heats, no more than 20. We are going to, basically, a lot of people have been asking rules questions, and the rules are there because we don't want to see outlaws coming. I don't want 5-foot cars. I don't want cars that are just built completely and utterly ridiculous. So the rules are there. There's going to be a light, a bone stock, an economy heavy. So anything built above the economy heavy will be, which in my opinion, an economy heavy car is like a Brookfield car with no protectors. Somebody that ran Brookfield, they got the 10-inch plates. It's a little bit outside of our economy rules, but anything that has like a DP slammed into with pressure against the dash bar, you might better just put kickers in because you're going to get put into the limited weld class. Or you're going to have to cut some stuff. We'll allow you to cut some stuff to go down, or you can add to go up.
My better ad.
Better ad.
Yeah, you know, I just want to, you know, that's one of the biggest things around here right now is Brookfield allows that to the tight to the cage, and I know very well what people are doing with that, and so does everybody else. So it's not really fair for us to allow a car with a DP tight to the cage to go in with our economy cars, which don't have any protectors or pressure at all. So that's why, you know, that's my decision there and my discretion. You know, guy wants to cut the dash bar out and move it back 5 inches, 6 inches. You know, that's something they can do to get into the economy class. You know, cut the firewall away from the DP, move the dash bar back 5 inches. Now you're closer to. You're still not our economy rules, but you're closer.
Jeremy, would you say that the Relic class right now is probably the most talked about class for this Saturday?
Oh, it's the most talked about for sure across the United States. It's not just locally. But you know, I know we've got a 3-car hauler coming out of Indiana. I've heard say we've got a car coming out of North Dakota. But I haven't. You know, that's yet to be seen, of course. Of course, Gumby's coming to run. Josh is building his car here, though. That's pretty much done. The last time I seen it, it's running pretty cool. He's running the original Nailhead in it.
Yeah, that's an awesome idea.
But it's going to be a good derby, man. I'm excited about it. I'm excited that, you know, we're reaching goals that we set. I really think that goal's attainable.
Absolutely. I think you're going to beat it, personally.
You know, it's possible. You know, it is possible. It's been a lot of work in the off season, and I say off. I use that term loosely. You know, we basically started about 2 weeks after San Filippo ended last year. We started planning for this year, and you know, we got. I don't even remember the dollar number of prizes that we're giving away. You know, from Casey Smith and Jonathan Muse, NLR. You know, we got our other sponsors, and I'm standing outside, so I'm not even going to try to start naming individual sponsors, but because I'll forget one, and then I'll get a nasty Facebook message that I forgot them. So I just won't name any of them. But you know, it's been a huge thing, and us becoming. I don't know what the proper terminology is and what I'm exactly, you know, but us getting more recognition on a global scale, so to speak, has really helped us to be able to secure some bigger sponsorships. You know, so it's not just a fly-by-night charity. You know, it's not just a couple people trying to raise money or you know. So we've been able to secure the NASCAR sponsorship, and we were working on a couple others that, you know, may not happen this year, but you know, we gotta. These corporations they plan for all their advertisement dollars in about January, so we got to hit them up really early next year and get them on board. But, you know, there's 2 other big sponsors that are coming on board probably for Sanfilippo 4. And, you know, it's going to be bigger and better next year. I you know.
I was just going to touch on the NASCAR. You're raffling that off is how you're doing that one, right, Jeremy? Yeah,
we're going to raffle it off, but we're not going to do it at Sanfilippo because we didn't get it until just this the day I went up to do the Jeffy's auction is the day I actually had confirmation of what they were going to do. We've known for a while they were going to sponsor us, but we weren't sure exactly what they were going to do. They were talking about sending a driver up to do autographs. They were talking about doing some other stuff.
That's cool.
And, you know, finally they just came out and said, well, you know what, this year, because of time-wise and everything else, we're just going to give you these hot passes and 4 grandstands tickets. And originally they had told us it was to Watkins Glen. And then the next email I got was, no, it's not just Watkins Glen. It's any race across the United States except for the Daytona 500. So We're working on that. We're working on Brian getting getting that up on the web. Once we get it up on the web, we'll be able to buy tickets. You'll be able to buy tickets online. You'll be able to buy tickets at San Filippo, and we're actually going to pull it. We'll do a live video, Facebook Live or YouTube Live. We've now set up our YouTube channel so that if you're not friends with somebody and you're not friends with somebody else, or somebody has you blocked, or whatever the case may be, you'll be able to watch all the live Spinning Wheels live videos through the YouTube channel. So we're going to go live down in Mahwah, New Jersey. There's a dinner for Team Sanfilippo, and we're going to present Team Sanfilippo with the proceeds of the Sanfilippo Smash, and we're going to draw that NASCAR winner right there on the steps of the hotel.
That's awesome.
And that's the 27th of October, I believe.
Right.
My wife actually saw that. She saw that post before I did, and she was like, "Did you see what Jeremy's got?" And I'm like, "No." And she told me about it. She's like, "You're going to put in for some of those. You're going to buy some of those tickets, right?" And I was like, "Yes, dear. I'm going to buy some of those tickets." He said, "You said yes. Well, who will be buying those tickets?" So
You said any NASCAR race, right?
yeah.
Any
So
NASCAR
Eldora,
race,
right?
Yep. Any NASCAR track. So
truck race at
we were
Eldora?
we were basically going, if it was just Watkins Glen, we were just going to do it at the Sanfilippo Smash. And, because it's, the Derby community is so vast, guys in Texas, you can go to Texas Motor Speedway.
Yep.
Guys in Florida, Talladega, they can go Bristol. There's so many different, and we have such a draw. Like for Mini Meltdown, we had I think 8 states plus Canada. So we decided that we would put it out there for a little bit of time after the Sanfilippo Smash, and maybe those guys would want to get in on a few tickets, and we'll give it away, and we're giving away so much stuff. At the Sanfilippo Smash, we're going to draw the Jeffy motor. That's basically anybody who has run any of our shows this year. You got a ticket. You got your name put in a bucket. You don't have to be there to win. Probably maybe the second heat, we're going to draw the winner. So somebody's going to walk away with a drop-in, turnkey, ready-to-rip 5.3 Jeffy's Fab Farm LS. We got a diver transmission to raffle off. We have we're giving away a car. I mean, there's two chances to win a raffle car. I gotta put together an 05 Dodge Dakota with a 3.7 6-cylinder in it.
Those Dakotas are tough too.
Mm-hmm.
I just finished it. I just welded the rear end today and finished that up, and it runs good. We're getting ready to load it up on the trailer and head towards Morris here in a few minutes. But, there's just a lot of things. And Gary knows he's going to be there. So if you're a little low on cash, but you still want to come and buy some tickets, guess what? Bring your cats, bring your batteries, bring your aluminum rims. Gary will give you money. You can walk right over to the raffle table and buy as many raffle tickets as you can afford.
That's the way to do it.
Now, Jeremy, Josh Buell and Christy Germain have been running the waffles for most of the off season. Does the money raised for that, does that go into the total for Sanfilippo to be donated? How does that all work together?
Yes, it is. All of that is going to go to the total at the end of the day towards Sanfilippo.
That's why I think you guys are going to crush
it. As I put out in our live, we started our own 501c3.
Yep.
Once the paperwork gets finalized with that, we'll be able to get back into some of the waffles. There's a few issues legally within New York State that we couldn't get around. And some of the other waffle pages, if you watch, you notice they change names all the time. There's a reason for that. It's because they're not supposed to be doing what they're doing. And we knew it, but we did it anyways. But
well, there you go.
Because of, we didn't want to come into any legal issues with the money being donated to Team Sanfilippo.
Right.
So there's a lot of money in and a lot of money out in them waffles. There's really not a huge profit margin on the ones that Josh and Christy were doing. More volume. Mm-hmm. So there was a lot of money back and forth, and it can be, basically the way it was explained to us was it can be looked at as sort of a laundering situation if you don't have the proper things, proper
documentation,
paperwork, and tax IDs and all that stuff. So we said, you know what, before we
before we get into any trouble, let's just stop.
Yeah.
We'll get the proper paperwork. We'll do the right thing. We'll get everything we need, and then next year, once we get everything, then we'll get back we'll get the page back going and get it up and running.
Good deal.
Probably a smart way to do it.
Yeah, it's. I still have a feeling you guys are going to beat your goal. I really think there's so much stuff.
It's possible. It's certainly possible. I mean, I know. We've been pushing the last 2 weeks. We're close. We're taking the number that we made last year through the gate, because that's the only way we really make money at Sanfilippo is the gate attendance. Mm-hmm. We took what we made last year plus what we've got right now, and we're for as far as donations, and we're really close. We're really close. And I think the NASCAR raffle, I think the diver transmission, I'm pretty sure numbers are going to be up a bit from attendance last year. So we're really looking, we're really looking good to hit that $50,000 mark, and that's that's a big goal put on the shoulders of the boys, and they've handled it well. And in reality, it's a big number made by a small number, so to speak. It's basically been the Derby community. We haven't really reached outside of the drivers to make that money, and that's something with the T. Martin Foundation that we're going to look to do, is expand where we're getting our funds from, but also looking to expand where the funds are going to. We're going to continue to give to Team Sanfilippo, as we basically decided that amongst us, and but we're also going to be able to reach out and help other families in need. What doesn't necessarily have to be, somebody in the Derby community. We can reach out, and if we decided we wanted to help a child go on a Make-A-Wish trip out of the Mid-Hudson chapter of Make-A-Wish, we could sponsor the child.
Cool.
Same way with, if we wanted to sponsor a child from Western New York or Iowa or Kansas, it doesn't matter. With us having the 501c3 on our own, that gives us a lot more leeway and liberty to do some things with the money that's raised. And I'm also, we're also looking to expand how many fundraisers we have, and not just the one.
Sure.
There'll be in the spring or maybe the midsummer. There'll be a sporting clays tournament down here at my place, and all the proceeds from that will go to the Team Martin Foundation. So we're looking to broaden how we can gather funds, and that formation of that 501c3 for us does a lot of things. It's really a good thing for us, and maybe that'll push us to the $100,000 mark next year.
That would be awesome.
Awesome.
Very cool.
It's happening this Saturday. It starts at noon and goes until probably Monday, right?
Yeah, we are going to open the gates Friday night. I'm going to try to get out of here around 1 o'clock. We will be there at 4 o'clock. Guys, if you're listening, if your car is done, if you're done besides wearing the doors, bring it over Friday night. We'll be there hopefully by 4. We'll run inspection till they tell us we can't, which I'm told is 10 o'clock. We'll get your cars through inspection, get them put up. I do have a couple guys that are going to stand fast security. So we can get some cars. I'd like to really knock out 40, 50, 60 cars on Friday night. And then 6 o'clock, get up, get through the door, get through the gates. Because, guys, I'm not going to, 11 o'clock, I'm done. That's it. No more through the gate. I don't want to turn anybody away. But at the end of the day, I'm going to have 25 to 3,000 fans. And they want to see things get smashed, and we got to get going, because time falls short, and it'll be midnight before we know it.
Yep,
that's for sure.
It's true. Well, certainly do wish you the best. I hope that goes off without a hitch. If you get through 60 on the first night, then it leaves you like 175 the second day. It's not bad.
Yeah, I'm hoping 175, but I'm thinking it's going to be probably closer to 240.
Okay, well, glass half full, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's awesome. I mean, I'm excited about the goal and being so close to that, and the Relic class is going to be awesome too. I mean, nobody wants to miss that. I didn't realize that a vented Mopar bumper fits so well in the front of a 50s Cadillac.
No kidding.
It looked perfect.
I'm waiting to see where that bumper ends up.
Yeah,
it's going to come off. I mean, it's just a thin little C channel behind it, but boy, it sure looks mean sitting there.
It looks nice, man. These cars, the oohs and ahs that they're going to get rolling down the highway. I really wish we had a way to when these cars are rolling down the highway, people could go and tell us what they thought about them on Facebook. But that's kind of a difficult thing to handle.
I don't think you want that feedback.
I don't mind it. I like it. Donnie Lane put a couple of things up, and then I actually had some guys message me. They were bashing Donnie's car pretty bad, and I did a little introduction. I put a picture of Martin up, and Donnie Lane is coming 1,000 miles to help us. To smash for a cure. And a couple guys out of that group actually sent me a message and said, hey, that's pretty cool. Cars not worth saving anyways, yada, yada, yada. So, some of the guys, all of them guys aren't complete jackasses.
Not all of them.
Not all of them. Most, but not all.
Awesome. Online, spinningwheelsproductions.com. If you want more details, jump online on Facebook. There's tons of information out there as well. Just punch in Sanfilippo Smash. You'll be able to find it. Jeremy, man, wish you the best.
Thanks, Chris. You guys do good work and have fun.
Thanks,
we sure will. We'll talk to you soon.
See you.
Yeah, bud.
See you now.
Bye now.
There's Jeremy Gulley getting ready for Sanfilippo Smash coming up on Saturday. We are going to shift gears real quick because I'm sure that he thinks that we've forgotten about him.
Did you see the video that Gulley did yesterday explaining Sanfilippo?
No, I didn't catch that. So I don't know. It's my phone's getting old and outdated because I don't see
He
a
did
lot
it
of stuff.
yesterday. He's almost got 3,000 views.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Really nice explaining.
Yeah, just a little selfie video. Just
Yeah.
quick on his phone.
I shared it. I know a few other guys have shared it, but just really
Rick,
cool. Like I said, almost 3,000 views in less than a day.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
All right. We do have a couple ad spots to hit quick. Stern Dirt Racing is right there. Stern Dirt Racing, their next big show is coming up on the 13th of October. That'll end out their season. Halloween Havoc is at the Golden Spike Arena, Ogden, Utah. $30,000 to win. Run what you brung. There's a pig roast party there as well. They're going to break up the purse money once they get all the cars there and figure out how many cars are in which division. You need at least 6 cars to have a division by itself. Otherwise, your entry fee is going to be refunded. Payouts, again, based on the overall car counts. Registration is only $75. Registration includes a Havoc hoodie, your entry, 2 pit pass, general admission tickets, and 2 dinner passes. You really can't go wrong. Online for additional details, sterndirtracing.com. Again, Stern Dirt Racing Halloween Havoc, October the 13th at Golden Spike Arena in Ogden, Utah. The same day, back here in Ohio, Smash Demolition Derby is going to wrap up their season in the state of Ohio. October the 13th is their fall cleanup derby at the Fayette County Fairgrounds in Washington Courthouse, Ohio. A full-size cleanup class and a compact cleanup class will lead the way, but they've also got some support divisions, the mild weld, the street stocks, mowers, and power wheels on the card. Start time is 6 o'clock. For additional details, rules, and specifics, jump online, smashitderby.com. We said that was going to be the end of their season in Ohio. It's not the end of their season for good, though. They've still got Blizzard Bash on the other side of that. That's at the Kansas Expo Center, Topeka, Kansas. What's the name of the arena? You don't know. Landon Arena. At the
Kansas Expo
home
Center.
of the Roadrunners. November the 7th is the heat draws at Blizzard Bash. That's where we're going to find out who's going to be paired off against who in the opening round for both the national bracket and qualifying brackets. November the 8th at 4 o'clock is the national and qualifying opening rounds. That will be one of the fastest nights of Demolition Derby you've ever seen. Hands down. There's going to be 8 pairings, a total of 16 teams on each side. So 16 heats will go through that night. They start at 4 o'clock, and you'll probably be out of there by, I don't know what, 5:30. Anyway, November the 9th is the heat draws for the compact and limited weld teams. At 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock is round 2 for the national and qualifying brackets. November the 10th is the twin bill. It always is. Compact and limited weld team heats at 10 o'clock, and then all the Team B features, trucks and limited weld one and done at 6 o'clock that night. And that brings us to Championship Sunday. The bone stocks, the 80s mod, and all the Team A mains go off at 1 o'clock on November 11th. Online for details, blizzardbash.com. And rounding out our drops before we get to Rick Clarke, who's patiently waiting for us, the fall date for Chaos in the Valley is October the 20th. The Shenandoah County Fairgrounds in Woodstock, Virginia. Showtime is 5 o'clock. Starting to get a little bit more information creeping out about what's going to be there. If you can get there, make sure you get there. It is going to be a phenomenal show. Compacts, the stock V8s, the modified V8s, SUV class, monster builds, monster payouts. It all goes to benefit Townsbrook Volunteer Fire Department. They've also got the raffle Lumina, the W-body that Cardiac Arrest Racing has put together. That's Josh Wilkins and his crew putting that together. That car has the capacity to win, no question. And that car was left over from last year because the guy that won the raffle was handed $1,000 because he'd already qualified for the feature. So that's been in mothballs waiting for its chance to run. Chaos in the Valley online, facebook.com/Chaos Valley. So that brings us to where we are at right now with one Rick Clarke. Rick, man, how are you?
Hey guys, how's it going?
It's going okay. After you won 175 of these, you kept counting, and now we're at 200. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, thank you. A lot of cars.
Okay, Rick, what the first feature you ever won? What were you driving?
I was thinking that today because I knew you were going to ask me. I think the first two cars I bought was a 74 Chevy Impala and a 71. The 74 had a bad motor, and I took the one out of the 71 and put it in. That would have been at my home fair, Lindsay, Ontario.
Did you hear that? Rick Clarke was motor swapping before motor swapping was cool.
That's my first win. I think my first car was maybe an old Mopar of some kind back in '85.
That's what I like to hear, Rick. Good for you.
A couple big smiles on the end of the table right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's not so bad. Take us through the night. I mean, that it's got to be. Was that even remotely on your mind when that was playing out and you were getting closer to seeing the checkered flag?
Yeah, a little bit. It's just kind of small derby, so when I had to do there that night. You know, when I get super difficult. But yeah, it was a good night. Got one more after it.
You're breaking up on us a little bit. We're losing you.
Like I said, it was a good night, and I knew it was 200. So yeah, it was a good and for the truck heat, but muckered through the mud and got it done.
It's never hurts to win. It doesn't matter what it comes in. Do you prefer one over another? I mean, in our previous conversations, you like the strategy that comes with running those heavier built bash for cash type cars. Has that changed at all?
Yeah. Now, because I'm getting older and that pounding really hard derbies is hard on me, you know.
Right.
But yeah, we're kind of like series we're running now is kind of like what they call a pro stock build, which is a lot like Keystone National type rules.
Sure.
King's old school type rules.
Right.
But yeah,
that's
anything that I can run and drive, I just love to do it. So,
couple things as we wrap up our hour plus together here for episode number 245. Things we missed at the top of the show. Will Steinbeck, I saw him share a picture of his kid celebrating 1 year seizure free, which is some good news out of that camp. Belfast had a derby over the weekend. I saw Christy King was at a derby. I believe it was in Caledonia up in Ontario. No winners from either of those, but I know a lot of guys from that we're familiar with were in action. The Sagers typically run down there. Tommy Dowd, Mike Ernst, those guys. And Alan McNeil, I don't know if you saw that picture. He posted a picture of his helmet that was new back in 1941. And he said it's time to retire that thing because it's got it's basically like wrapping your head in bubble wrap. So he's looking for a new helmet. But I thought that was pretty cool. And then Ron McClung coming away with another win this year. And
Ron's had a good year.
He got back home and already had a painted car on the trailer and was looking for help to strip another.
That's crazy.
So it just doesn't stop for him.
Never ends.
Rick, you the last few years, it seems like you've really been picking up the pace. You seem to be running a lot of shows during the year. How many shows have you ran so far this year?
I haven't counted them, but I'm saying 15 to 20 this year.
Wow, man.
I've only ran, I'd say, one in the States this year, but just concentrating on local shows this year. I'd like to head back to the States next year for sure.
Yeah, it's we haven't crossed paths yet. I don't think. Did you come to watch Bash for Cash this year?
Yes, I was there, but I didn't see you. I don't.
Yeah, I was gonna say we usually get to talk at Bash for Cash. I didn't see you, but so. How do you have more shows left for this year? Are you done for the season, or what's on tap?
There's 2 or 3 more shows here, and then I got one car I want to use up, but I might take it to the Turkey Derby in Indiana, but I'm not sure yet.
That's cool. Very cool.
And then I'll probably see you guys at Blizzard Bash.
What are you doing in Blizzard Bash? You just going to watch, or you bringing a car?
Just going to drink beer and watch. No.
Sounds like a good plan.
Yeah.
When are you gonna go?
Always a good time out there.
When are you gonna take the plunge and drive in that?
Oh, I don't know. One of these years, I guess.
He just said that he doesn't like the hard builds anymore. They beat him up
I
too
know.
much.
I heard it. But
Well, he's running. You said he's running trucks. He's been running trucks.
He runs everything. Rick runs and wins and everything.
Exactly. Wins and everything.
Yeah, wins and everything.
The trucks hit pretty hard, though. I mean, they're no slouch.
No,
No matter whether they're welded or not.
Yeah, those trucks out there are crazy.
You know?
But you know what? They have some of the one and done classes out there. They're pretty quick builds, and they still put on a really good show. It's
Ron built the car on site there last year.
Yeah, Ronnie did.
Remember that?
Yeah,
that was cool. Or was that
Yeah,
Capital City?
that's what I'd be interested in doing, that, a one and done.
Yeah, definitely.
Those are the way to go anymore, man.
Oh yeah, I don't like working on cars between heats and features.
You know, when you get used to doing that, and then you got, I got heats like Brookfield. I had to bring stuff. I'm like, oh, man.
yeah, that gets to be a pain.
It's nice just to one run and done, run it hard, go home.
Now, Rick, I see your boys. He's still running the Power Wheels. When is he going to be old enough to get in his first compact or his first actual derby car?
He keeps talking about it. He's more derby crazy than I am. I don't know. He keeps thinking 10 or 11 he can run in the States somewhere, but not too many around here will let kids run in that young.
Yeah.
What's the norm? About 10, 11, 12 in the States?
I don't know. It depends where you go. Because in New York, you can't run them because you can't find an insurance company that will cover it in New York.
I was thinking.
You probably have to go.
I was thinking 12.
Ohio, maybe. I think 12. Something like that.
Because my nephew did the youth class, and I can't remember exactly, but he was little, man.
Yeah.
And I think, but that's when they had it Morris. I don't know, even think Gulley was promoting that.
No, it was when
it was with Total Destruction, yeah. And I think he was because I rode with him.
Bash for Cash, he's talking about it.
There you go. Yeah, there's a youth class out there. Well, see, that gives you an excuse, Rick. You can
when he was 11, I think.
You can build a car for Bash for Cash. Your boy can build a car for Bash for Cash. It'll be a perfect weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot of work for sure.
Yeah, it is. And that's the thing.
So much going on. Got to run from one thing to the other.
Yeah.
That sounds like the makings of Dad and Lad Flashburn.
That's the making of making mistakes, because I've been there. When you got two things going on, it's like.
When we got to know Rick, we would go talk and hang out at derbies and stuff. And I went over and started looking at Rick's cars. And, when you get to that level, everybody is meticulous. But Rick is like a step above meticulous when he builds. Like the stuff that's in there, and like the things he's thought about. Okay, if this goes wrong, then this is there to back that up. And it's just so cool to go over and look at cars of that build. And I was lucky enough. Rick and I got to run in the heat together at Coos, and then we were on in the feature together for a while in Coos, and it was cool.
He ran the first year at Coos, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. What was it? A wagon, right?
No, he had the Impala. He won the Impala that was raffled.
Oh, okay.
And then he brought that back and won it, and he ran it at Coos. He got down a ways and had some mechanical failures, but it was cool. I mean, to get out there and run with somebody like that, it's not every day you can do that.
No, exactly.
Hopefully, we'll be on the track together again someday.
Well, here Coos might happen again, or Brett Relier's talking about doing something.
Yeah, Brett's talking about having a big show next year. I think he said sometime early June, or no, July. I'm sorry, no, June. June, I think it was, down in Little Valley, which is like Cattaraugus County. So yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, I would, he's talking like $10,000 to win. So I mean, I would love to run in something like that, just because it's going to it's going to attract so many people. You know what I mean? It would be cool to run against a bunch of guys that you've never run against, just for the experience. So hopefully that comes through.
I also see they might have Keystone Nationals next year.
Yeah, that's happening, I think.
Yeah, there's some stuff going on. I don't know if there's anybody that knows anything about that, Chris Marquardt, but it definitely sounds like it's happening next year.
That's got my attention.
Yeah, that would be cool. There was some good stuff that went on down there.
Some amazing derbies down there. It was awesome.
Well, how about the last year that Bo had it, when he had the super stock class, when Josh took the first Rosa car?
Yeah.
That night of derby was one of the best derbies I ever watched in my life, because everybody was on the gas that night. There was no sandbagging.
Chuck Buckdom shortened that Buick. Or whatever
Rick
it was.
Rick had a Suicide Lincoln there, and he drove that He drove that to the point where it bellied out in the middle, and that's what
the back tires off the ground.
That's
right?
a good night right there.
Yeah, that was a hard hitting show. Steve Sanfilippo won it.
Yep.
That was when he won like everything there that year.
Yeah,
that was.
I can't remember what motor he had in that car. It might have been the Vortec that was in that.
No, that was Mark. I think that was Mark that ran the Vortec, and Steve had
the Baby Baldwin.
I don't know if it was a Baby Baldwin or if he had his. I don't remember, but that was a great night of Derby down there. That was one of the best overall complete derbies I've ever seen.
I know Bo's been putting a bunch of stuff out there about it. I mean, he's trying to gauge interest, and
yeah, I think that would be great to see that come back.
Excellent.
Great arena too.
Cool
I love that arena.
Where they have that. They say that's a pretty cool place. That track there.
Yeah, it is.
Grandstands are amazing,
and it's always full. I've never seen a derby not be full there.
Where is that actually held? What township is that in? Do you know?
Yes.
Brookfield, isn't it?
Brookfield, PA. Yeah.
Yep. And it's
Jefferson County Fairgrounds. I believe.
It's like 6 hours away, no matter which way you go. And we've went 14 different ways going there and coming back.
Yep, about 5.5. If you
Yeah.
really want to push it.
Oh, great shows though. Great
Dodging
shows.
possums the whole way.
Yeah.
No joke. Remember the time we saw the owl trying to pick the possum up out of the middle of the road?
Man, the amount of mileage you put on, dude, man, you must have been seeing halos of who knows what, dude. Remember when we came? Oh, you guys didn't follow us back from Bash when we went down there. Then we ran and then we drove right straight back home all night long. Oh man.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, we
I don't want to hear anything about your all night long.
Yeah, you're the wrong guy to talk to about that.
yeah, we do that pretty regularly.
Oh, you had to drive 6 hours? Woo-hoo.
Whoa.
Chris is only awake for like 4 of those hours, but it's okay. He keeps you company while he's awake.
Yeah, he lets somebody actually drive besides himself.
He doesn't have a choice. I love Chris and all of his talents, but driving a car is not one of them.
You don't trust him, huh?
No, not even a little bit. Not when he's behind the wheel of a car.
You're still here.
That minivan's
That's
probably
'cause-
seen speeds.
That's because I took over the driving duties. The last time I let him drive was we went to Morris for Rick's memorial show. That was the last time I let Chris drive. Was coming home from that. Since then he's not driven with me in the van. Won't happen.
He sounds like he's a good candidate to get out on a derby track. Then, by sounds of things.
He did that once.
Oh yeah, well,
I got that out of my system.
yeah, that wasn't a good night.
That was entertaining. It was entertaining to say the least.
I said to myself, I'm sitting there watching that. I'm like, is that Chris in the passenger seat? And it was.
And then that was also Chris in the ambulance. Sewing my shin back.
You got to blame that on Gulley. You should have put some padding on that bar.
No, I blame whoever broke the seat. Whoever that was. I it's not that I'm letting the person remain nameless. I don't know what happened, but that seat was a bad scene.
Chad, when he was getting strapped in his imp, and I went over to say good luck to him, and I kid you not, he had full guards on, shin guards, catchers.
Yep.
The
Rick,
whole thing, knee right to the ankle.
Rick, you wear shin guards and you got something on your arm, don't you?
I was just going to say you should have wore shin guards, but no, I don't wear them anymore. But I got elbow pads and wrist pads. And
Yep.
I mean, he used to look like a knight getting on his car.
You got to, man.
Yep.
Armor right up.
It was after we ran Coos, we were in the heat, and I bounced my elbow off something like that because I just put the middle bar in for the shifter.
Yep.
And I bounced my elbow off that, and I'm standing there, and Rick goes, "That's why I wear elbow pads." Mm-hmm. Yes.
I was wearing elbow pads when I was driving
Rick.
trucks. They're holding mean, nasty.
Yeah, definitely.
Teeth guards. You'd want some teeth guards, those two.
Yeah.
I don't want to demo anything where I got to wear mouthpieces. That's not. I'm too old for that stuff.
I'm gonna tell you, man. We went head on with those things, and I don't like going head on no more. It just hurts too much.
See, it doesn't. As long as you're in something where the car bends or the truck bends and you don't bend, it's not bad.
But when you meet that other guy that you think is not built, and he is, and when you hit square, boy, there's no worse feeling than that.
I can't remember where it was. I think it was San Filippo last year where somebody had hidden a beam. They'd shortened the frame on their truck, and they hid the beam a little bit further up so it looked like a cream puff. And somebody blistered the back of that thing, and they just stopped. They put the bumper underneath the bed.
Oh,
you know
man.
what I mean? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, that just boom!
Dude,
you saw teeth and contacts fly right through the front windshield.
Well, at Blizzard Bash one year. It might have been last year. I was down standing on the berm between heats, getting some fresh air. And I looked out, and there's a mouthpiece on the track, and I was like, "That's insane." That is insane.
Said somebody lost their teeth guard.
Crazy. That's
was that the same place that guy, that video, he went right out of his seat and right back in it?
Yes.
Remember last year that was floating around?
Yeah.
That was the compact class.
Tiger, guys, I forget his name.
Tigrit Redinius, I believe is how you say his last name.
That was insane.
Yeah.
He got bounced around.
Well, I think it happened on Friday because they were rolling on the loop on Saturday.
Yeah, it was during their heat.
pay-per-view. Yeah.
How he didn't get hurt, man. Probably was after the fact.
Well, the year
Nate Middendorf got jacked around.
No, I was thinking Jason Dials when he got hit by in the wagon, the hit of the year.
Colton blasted him.
Colton, oh my goodness, Colton Newhoffen shortened a Chevy wagon probably 4 foot. And Jason's a big dude. He's built a lot like me. When he got hit, he was about halfway out that window.
His hands were between the stacks.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Wow.
It was crazy.
And they were still holding the invisible steering wheel.
It was crazy.
Come back in like this.
The 1 year right there, the guy's crankshaft and pistons were laying out in the track. You guys remember that?
Yeah, Mike Brown did that.
Mike Brown did that.
And that poor guy got 3 chances before Mike Brown said, I've already told you twice.
Yeah.
And he didn't break his stick. And then all of a sudden the inside parts of his motor were on the outside.
Yeah. That cast block was no match for Mike Brown's bumper.
Nope. Or the piston.
Or the
crank.
Or the crank. Any of the other stuff.
Yeah, that was a good shot.
Definitely some hard hitting for sure.
No question.
Absolutely.
I think Waterloo this year, somebody got knocked into the bed of their wagon.
Frank Van Houten.
Yeah.
In the truck.
Yeah.
Saturday night.
In the back of a van. And he just kind of clambered back up and got back in.
What do you do? You got to get back in.
When Gulley hit that guy in the van, that guy was...
that was a nasty hit.
That Brian Carey got hit there.
I saw Gulley take off, and I'm like... This is not if that Jersey beer hadn't been there, Gulley would have went right over and out into what street.
That van was in the perfect spot. If he was closer, it would have just been a ramp, and if it was further away, it would have been right on the A post.
Yeah,
it was in the perfect spot. That it kept Jeremy from getting to, I don't know, the Tempest, I guess. Seriously, Jeremy would have been sitting like in a vat of salt potatoes if he had gotten over that.
If he'd gotten into that, he probably would have got sprayed again by the fire hose. That video, dude, I watched that 14 times. I cannot stop laughing.
He does not like that.
No, he was pretty grumpy about that. Not that I blame him. That's an awful expensive motor to get sprayed with cold water.
When he got sprayed right in the face with that water, that was hilarious.
It's
not funny, but you know what I mean. Well, his reaction was funny, though.
Yeah.
Rick, how many more wins you got before you're going to hang it up?
I'm probably good for another 50 or 75. I don't know.
That's what I like to hear.
So that means he's got at least 6 wagons left.
No, he's got a few left.
I got 4 or 5 wagons, and I got probably about 35 cars total yet to use up.
Oh yeah, you'll be
he's
figured
good
out
for a while. He's good for a while.
Awesome,
Rick. When you first started, I mean, did you ever think, when you won your first one, did you ever think A, that you'd be doing it long enough to win 200, and B, you would win 200 times?
No, never. I just thought once a year, and then I got into 2 or 3 times a year. And then I got into 5 times, 10 times. I think 1 year we did 25 or 30 derbies 1 year.
Man, you imagine the amount of work. Just
no.
Rick, is it still as fun to win? Is it when you won that many times? Do you still get that feeling of a good win?
Yeah, it's fun. I just like going out there and driving around people and thinking and. Should I go in that corner or not go in that corner? Or wait till that guy moves, and it's still fun. The work is catching up to me in the shop, that's for sure.
Yeah. That's the hardest part when you get older.
Yeah,
getting there.
But when Richard Petty sends you the commemorative hat and belt buckle to celebrate 200 wins, it's probably going to be worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's pretty impressive, man.
That is, man.
That's
insane.
Have you run 200 derbies?
I don't know. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I would think so.
You think so?
I don't know.
Counting heats and features and everything? Man,
20-some years, I would think. Maybe not. I don't know.
That's
a good question. I'd have to sit back and think about it.
Yeah.
Because
No, then there's no way, because
We're
when I
talking-
first started, I wasn't traveling like I am now. You know what I mean?
200 wins isn't heat wins and features. It's
Yeah, it's
200
features.
features.
No, but I'm just talking. I mean, if you count heats and everything, I mean, think about how many derbies Rick's ran.
Yeah, that's.
I mean,
Think
that's
about
crazy.
how many derbies you have to lose to win 200.
Well, you just said sometimes
That's-
25, 30 a year, dude. That's
That's
a lot.
insane.
Yeah, no way I'd come close to that.
Reg Bono,
Yep.
he puts up some pretty crazy numbers. Bobby Cousineau from up there in Canada, he used to put up some insane numbers. Guy Raymond around here, he used to run quite a bit.
I think for wins, I think Brett's probably got to be the leader in the area. I mean, if you really think about it, and I mean, I bet.
How was Ricky when Ricky was? He had a lot of wins, didn't he?
I
When
don't
Ricky was
know.
alive, or no?
He
never really got out and traveled much, though. He kind of stayed right there.
He was a homer. He was Morris, Brookfield, and
Yeah,
and
he was
Walton,
right there in the same.
mostly.
He didn't always win, but
Afton.
man, did you know he was there?
Yeah. I was talking to a couple, Todd Height. Justin LaSalle got a Mad Dog Award over the weekend, and it's more fun to win a Mad Dog than it is to win the feature.
Yes, dude. Hands down.
You know who else that only Mark runs anymore, but the Benjamins combined. I mean, I can't imagine how many wins Mark and Betty and Harold have combined.
Conservative estimate, 4,000.
That's me.
I mean, that's crazy.
They've won a ton.
Yeah, I mean, they were traveling in. Well, I mean, it was
They were running the gamut in
Mid-80s?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was
see,
gonna
that's
say
what
late
it
80s.
takes. You got to get out and just go run everywhere, you know?
I mean, they did. They literally would run, all our local shows.
On the topic of traveling, back before traveling was cool. Do you remember the story about Steve Buckman's family?
Yeah.
In 1976, they won the Seneca County Fair.
They were here?
They were here. Yeah.
That's
Yeah, he found the newspaper clipping. Like, it was the address. Like, I wouldn't believe him. Like, Seneca County could be anywhere. But it talked about the VFW, and it had the address and everything. It was like, yeah.
It was.
And the thing was, I couldn't blow it up big enough to see who else was on the track, because it would have been cool to see, if I knew anybody was running back then.
just to, for the heck of it, yeah.
Yeah, but
It was different, though. Like, way back, you worked all year on one good car to run your local show. Like, that was your prized possession.
yep.
But now it's just like there's so many good shows around, you just want to run all over, you know?
But, Rick, you said with the transition over to more of that pro stock, super stock type build, that's made things a little bit easier because you can crank out cars faster than when you're building a car for Bash for Cash.
Yeah, like last week I started Monday afternoon, and I built that metric wagon in 3 days. I was off for the Derby Thursday night. Just rammed her out in 3 days. So definitely a lot quicker to build. Like a Bash for Cash or kicker car, man, you could spend 2-3 months building one of those cars now.
Oh, it's crazy.
You going to venture to Tennessee in December?
Sorry?
You get to venture to Winter Warzone, Sean McCullum's show, in December. I think it's in White Pine, Tennessee.
Oh, yeah, I was thinking about going to that one, yes. Probably go down and check it out.
That's kind of catchy. Winter Warzone.
It's amazing what changing a date can do for a derby. I mean, Sean got in there and they moved it to December, and it completely changed the face of that. Promotership aside, Sean's doing a great job with that show, but they just shuffled that to the right time of year to where it fit better. People are still coming off that Blizzard Bash high, and there was an opening in December. They jumped on that.
I mean, you think about it, and there's, November, obviously there's Blizzard Bash, and then you have Jason Koch's show, the Tin Tiger Memorial.
And the Turkey Derby in Amarillo.
And the Turkey Derby in Amarillo. So, I mean, there's 3 pretty big derbies. Blizzard Bash being the biggest, obviously. But then December, it's kind of a lull. So, I mean, that would, work out.
But the thing is from the Tiger Memorial to the first show in January, which we talked about this last week. I didn't look it up. I think that's Sturgis. It's still only 6 or 7 weeks.
Yeah, just over a month.
And then after that, you've got one every 2 weeks until Spring Explosion.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't ever stop, guys. It doesn't. You sit back and think about Derby. It is huge. Like, it's not. It's massive, and it never ends, man. It's all
February
year
used to
round.
have White Pine and Winter Slam and the Florida Derby within 8 days.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's even more dense than it was.
You know what really, and it not just me, it ticks everybody off, is that some big company hasn't come in and said, man, this is something big we got to attach our name to. It just, even, like in Advanced Auto Parts, I mean.
You would think, like, somebody would want to jump on board, but
It's
we're still looked down upon, dude.
Yeah,
Closest anybody got was Speedway.
Yep.
With Blizzard Bash when the Speedway reps were there, and they thought it was the coolest thing in the world. and they weren't back the next
People
year.
come in here. People come into the shop all the time. They say, "Oh, Derby season's over," and I said, "No, it never really ends. Just you can go to one every month if you want."
Yep.
Between looking for cars, parts, building this, building that, it's all year round.
Yep.
I try to take a good couple months off though, because you got to.
Yeah, definitely.
Dan's got to take time off.
For as much cheating as he does with builds, I mean.
Hey, there's a rumor. Who told me? There's a rumor going around that my car was cheated at Brookfield.
Well, of course it was. You built it.
No, that thing was. They flipped it over at the end, looked right under it.
Dano, you just get a bad rap, buddy.
I know. That's all right.
And I don't want this to come off as a knock on the Kings, because they've obviously caught lightning in a bottle. The show's been there for a long time. But if you don't get out and look at other shows and go through other tech inspections and read other rules and stuff like that, do you as a builder, both of you, Rick too, feel like the tech crews can fall behind and put themselves at a disadvantage to where they're doing everything right, but potentially they don't even know what they're looking at?
Well, here's the thing. I had to cut. I had to do one cut. My bumper ends. Homemade bumper. I built this strict. It's been on the truck. I don't know how many times. I run it up there. Yeah, we want you to cut the ends open so we can see in there. I'm like, are you serious? I'm like, yep. All right. So I go back. I cut a dime-size hole out, the size of my pinky. Come back. All right. You're good to go. Pull it up there. I walk back down through the line. Just happened to be looking around. It's kind of odd. There's 3, 4, 5 more there. Didn't have to cut the bumpers out. What's up with that? I don't care.
Did you look at both sides of the bumper?
I don't even care, dude. But it's just the point. You know what I mean? If one's got to do it, why don't everybody got to do it?
Yep, I agree.
But I don't. To me, whatever. I'll do whatever you want me to do.
And that's the thing. I mean, like with Smash It's inspectors, I mean, Tim and Russ are everywhere. They go all over the country to derbies, and they usually have 3 or 4 or half of their inspecting crew with them. And you see them, over talking with inspectors and walking around and checking stuff out. And, I think that's why they are where they are today. It's because they do such a good job and they stay on top of stuff.
Well, I kind of like how Gulley does his inspection, because he's got like a guy, specialty for each part of the vehicle.
That's an excellent idea.
And that's what your job is. When you pull up there, okay, so if one guy's going to look at bumpers, who's to say when you got a 4-man inspection crew that we didn't look at the corners of this guy's bumper, but we did. You know what I mean? Stuff gets missed. It happens.
Yeah. That was when I went to Gulley's Father's Day show this year. And he had guys that were there for certain classes, and I think that's a really good idea. I mean, I definitely think Gulley and his crew are on the road. They're
getting better. They're definitely getting better, because in the very beginning
they're definitely on the
hey, there's no. I talked to Gulley. I know what goes on. And he's he knew he had to step up his game a little bit with inspections.
Yeah, I talked with Jeremy when we were down hunting with him this year. And he told me some changes he made, but I mean, like I said, in New York, there isn't anybody beating him. There isn't. As far as support, and you don't hear guys bitching after shows about inspection. No. So there's nobody beating Jeremy and his crew, and it's only going to grow.
It's just funny to see him as a promoter now, because the stuff that man and I used to do.
Well, you know what they say, that the best cheaters make the best inspectors. I'm just saying that's,
Same thing with law enforcement, man.
Exactly. The biggest crooks are the best cops. They know what to do. But
it's true, man.
You've never heard that before, Chris?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Talk about some of your buddies that you grew up with that are in law enforcement. I got a couple, man. It's like, wow.
I'm taking the 5th.
Yeah, wise.
I'm taking the 5th on that.
I just looked at the clock.
We got to get going, I guess.
We got to get out of here because
the golf
show's going on. Sorry, 7:30. Rick, congratulations again. Any final thoughts or anybody that you want to make mention of that helped you make it through enough derbies to pick up 200 wins? It's a pretty significant number.
No, thanks, guys. No, just my wife and my boy back at home for the support. My wife's seen enough derbies. She doesn't ask me that night, you want to go to the derby? She says, no, I'll stay at home. You've seen way too many. Yeah. But, there's been a few people along the way, but mainly just myself. Done a lot of the work. It's been a long road, but we're still plugging away. We still love to do it.
That's awesome.
Cool, man.
It's good to hear. We'll check in again when we hit. Let's see, by the end of next summer, I think. So we'll be checking in on 225 probably by the end of next summer.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Keep after it, man. Thanks for coming on with us for a little while.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. We'll see you guys at Blizzard Bash probably.
See you later,
See you, Rick.
We'll see you then.
Man.
Take care. Bye.
There goes Rick Clarke. We do have to get out of here. 2:45. We're going to call this one in the books. We appreciate everybody tuning in. Dan Bolton, of course, thanks for coming into the studio. Got lucky that you were in town.
Yeah.
And, got to hang out for a little while. Got a little bit of extra programming tonight, but we do got to go. We'll see everybody again next week. We'll let you know what the plans are for Monday. It depends on how Brian makes out a Super Dirt Week. We'll see you then.
Wow, amazing how full.
The Crash Course Live is presented by
Smash It Demolition Derby, who host Bash for Cash, Blizzard Bash, and Capital City Carnage. Online at smashitderby.com. And Stirring Dirt Racing, host of May Mania's team show at the Golden Spike Arena in Ogden, Utah. Online at stirringdirtracing.com.
Reckless Abandon Derby Apparel, and Derby Inc. Magazine. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast, recorded live at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York.